The night of the 31st of October, a night shrouded in mystery and ancient traditions, where the air is thick with anticipation and a hint of fear. A date marked on the calendar with a mixture of excitement and ancestral fear. For many, it is a night of costumes and candy, of laughter and playful scares. But beneath the surface, there lies a deeper, more profound significance. It's Halloween, the night when the line between the living and the dead becomes dangerously thin. A night when the spirits of the departed are said to roam the earth, seeking solace or perhaps something more sinister. But few know the true origin of this holiday, an origin that goes back to the mists of time and the ancestral traditions of the Celts. Long before the modern celebrations, there was Samhain, a festival that marked the end of the harvest and the onset of winter. They called it Samhain, the end of the harvest and the beginning of the dark winter. It was a time of transition, a time when the boundary between this world and the next was at its weakest. It was a time of transition, where the spirits of the dead could cross into the world of the living more easily. The Celts believed that on this night, the ghosts of the dead returned to Earth, and they took measures to protect themselves from any malevolent spirits. Imagine a night sky illuminated by bonfires, the shadows dancing to the rhythm of the wind. These fires were lit to ward off evil spirits and to honor the gods, a beacon of light in the encroaching darkness. The Celts celebrated Samhain with sacrifices and rituals, seeking the protection of the gods against the arrival of cold and darkness. They offered food and animals to the deities, hoping to ensure a safe passage through the harsh winter months. It was a time of mystery and superstition, where the supernatural mixed with the everyday. People wore costumes and masks to disguise themselves from wandering spirits, blending in with the otherworldly beings that walked among them. On the night of October 31st, the veil between worlds is lifted. The living and the dead share the same space, if only for a few fleeting hours. It is a night of reverence and respect, of acknowledging the unseen forces that shape our world. Samhain reminds us of our own mortality, the fragility of life, and the closeness of the spiritual world. It is a time to honor those who have passed and to reflect on the cycle of life and death. It is a reminder that we are not alone, not even in the dark. The spirits of our ancestors walk beside us, guiding us through the shadows. As we celebrate Halloween, we carry forward the ancient traditions of Samhain, keeping alive the connection between the past and the present, the living and the dead. Today, Halloween has evolved into a festive occasion, filled with joy and community. Children dress up as their favorite characters, going door to door in search of treats. Families carve pumpkins, creating glowing faces that light up the night. Houses are adorned with spooky decorations, and parties are held to celebrate the eerie atmosphere. Yet even in these modern festivities, the echoes of Samhain can still be heard. The costumes, the jack-o'-lanterns, and the sense of wonder all harken back to those ancient nights when the veil was thin. As we gather around campfires to tell ghost stories or visit haunted houses, we are participating in a tradition that spans centuries. We are reminded of the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding, of the thin line that separates the known from the unknown. And as the night of October 31st gives way to the dawn of November 1st, the veil begins to thicken once more. The spirits return to their realm, and the living continue their journey through the world. But the memory of that night lingers, a reminder of the delicate balance between light and dark, life and death. In the quiet moments that follow, we honor those who have gone before us, placing flowers on graves and reflecting on their lives. We remember that Halloween or Samhain is not just about fear and the supernatural, but about connection and remembrance. As the full moon sets and the night sky lightens, we carry with us the stories and traditions of our ancestors. We embrace the mystery and the magic of La Noche del Velo Delgado, knowing that it is a night that bridges the past and the present, the living and the dead. And so, as the first rays of sunlight touch the rooftops, we step into a new day, carrying with us the wisdom and the wonder of Halloween. La Noche del Velo Delgado has passed, but its spirit remains, a timeless reminder of the thin veil that separates our world from the next. Over the centuries, the pagan tradition of Samhain met the influence of Christianity. Samhain, a festival marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, was deeply rooted in the Celtic culture. It was believed that during this time, the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, allowing spirits to roam the earth. The festival was absorbed and transformed, becoming All Hallows' Eve, the eve of All Saints' Day. This transformation was part of a broader effort by the Church to integrate and sanctify pagan traditions, making them more palatable to the Christian faith. All Hallows' Eve was a time to remember the dead, including saints, martyrs, and all the faithful departed. The Church sought to Christianize pagan festivals, offering an alternative to ancient beliefs. This was a strategic move to convert pagans by providing them with a Christian counterpart to their traditional celebrations. The Church's influence was pervasive, and over time, many pagan customs were reinterpreted through a Christian lens. November 1st became All Saints' Day, a day to honor the saints and martyrs of the Christian faith. This day was dedicated to celebrating the lives and sacrifices of those who had achieved sainthood, serving as a reminder of the virtues and piety that Christians were encouraged to emulate. Despite efforts to erase its pagan past, Halloween retained an aura of mystery and connection to the spirit world. The night before All Saints' Day, known as All Hallows' Eve, continued to be a time when people believed that the boundary between the living and the dead was blurred. This belief persisted, giving rise to various customs and superstitions associated with the night. In the United States, the holiday took on new meaning with the arrival of Irish immigrants in the 19th century who brought with them their own traditions and superstitions. The Irish celebrated Samhain with bonfires, costumes, and a belief in spirits and fairies. These traditions merged with American customs, creating a unique blend of old and new. Halloween became a popular celebration, a time to dress up, trick or treat, and share ghost stories around a bonfire. Children would go door to door asking for treats, a practice that evolved from the ancient custom of leaving offerings for spirits. The bonfires, once lit to ward off evil spirits, became a central part of the festivities, providing warmth and a gathering place for communities. The essence of Samhain, though transformed, was still present. The celebration of Halloween retained the spirit of the ancient festival, with its themes of death, rebirth, and the supernatural. The modern holiday, with its costumes, decorations, and spooky stories, continues to echo the traditions of the past, reminding us of the deep-rooted human fascination with the unknown and the otherworldly. Today, the most iconic image of Halloween is the pumpkin carved with a candle inside. But few know that the first Halloween pumpkins were not pumpkins at all, but turnips. In Ireland and other parts of Europe, turnips were more common than pumpkins and were carved with grotesque faces to ward off evil spirits during Samhain. These primitive lanterns, known as jack-o'-lanterns, were placed in the windows and doors of houses to protect their inhabitants from the evil forces that roamed the night of Samhain. The tradition of carving vegetables continued upon arrival in America, where the pumpkin, larger and easier to carve, replaced the turnip as the perfect canvas for creating creepy faces to illuminate Halloween night. A spectrum of colors, orange and black. Orange and black are the emblematic colors of Halloween. Each of these colors has a deep meaning, rooted in the history and symbolism of the holiday. Orange, the color of autumn and harvests, represents the symbolic death of nature as winter approaches. It reminds us of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Black, on the other hand, is the color of darkness, night, and the unknown. It represents literal death, the spiritual world, and what lies beyond the veil. Together, orange and black create a striking visual contrast, reflecting the duality of Halloween, the celebration of life and the recognition of death, the joy of costumes and the fear of the supernatural. Masks, the faces of the other world. These masks, often grotesque and eerie, are not just mere decorations or costumes. They hold a deeper, more profound significance that dates back centuries. In some European cultures, the wearing of masks during Halloween festivities had an even deeper meaning. It was a tradition steeped in ancient beliefs and customs, passed down through generations. These masks were not just for fun, they were a vital part of the rituals and ceremonies that marked the transition from the light half of the year to the dark half. It was not just about concealing one's identity, but about adopting the appearance of the spirits that were believed to roam freely on the night of Samhain. Samhain, the ancient Celtic festival, was a time when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest. People believed that spirits and otherworldly beings could cross over into our world, and by wearing masks, they could blend in with these entities. By wearing masks, people sought to confuse evil spirits, making them believe that they too were creatures of the other world. This act of disguise was a form of protection, a way to avoid being recognized and harmed by malevolent forces. The masks served as a shield, a barrier between the human and the supernatural. It was believed that this would protect them from any harm or bad luck. The masks were often crafted with great care, incorporating symbols and designs meant to ward off evil. They were more than just a cover for the face. They were talismans imbued with spiritual power. Masks also allowed people to transcend their own identity and connect with the spiritual world in a deeper way. By donning these masks, individuals could step outside of themselves, shedding their everyday personas and embracing a more mystical, otherworldly existence. This connection to the spiritual realm was seen as a way to gain insight, wisdom, and protection. It was a way of ritualizing the fear of death and the unknown, transforming it into a cathartic and communal experience. The act of wearing masks and participating in these rituals brought people together, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose. It was a time to confront and embrace the mysteries of life and death, to honor the past, and to prepare for the future. Through these traditions, the community found strength, solace, and a deeper understanding of the world beyond.